Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my fellow Americans, and my international brothers and sisters around the world, welcome to the second installment of NutraNews, coming to you with a very low budget, no real script to speak of, no staff, poor lighting, although better than yesterday, and mediocre sound quality. Welcome back. Thank you for watching. Today is March the 10th, Friday. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these videos on a once per week basis, a daily basis, and every other day basis. At the moment, I'm just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm not exactly a YouTube expert, nor do I have access really to YouTube experts who are willing to work pro bono. So this is a process, and if you are in this journey with me at these beginning stages, I wholeheartedly thank you. Today we're just going to jump right into the news of health and wellness, nutrition-related topics. We're going to just jump right into a story today that I've read. This story is coming to us from CNN. CNN, if you guys need a new voiceover guy, give me a call. Or email me, Facebook me, whatever it is, whatever CNN needs to do to get a hold of me for voiceover work. You guys do it. I'm ready. So this story is titled Daylight Saving Time Can Be Bad for Your Health. I believe that whoever posted this on CNN's website on March the 8th of this year probably meant to put daylight savings time, but instead they only put daylight saving time. So maybe that was on purpose. I'm not really sure. However, as most Americans are aware, and certainly everybody else around the globe who observes daylight savings time, this Sunday we are springing forward, baby, and we are losing an hour of sleep. Does losing an hour of sleep have negative health outcomes for human beings? More so than just throwing your day off. More so than just throwing off a couple of days where it takes, Monday, Tuesday, and eventually you start to fall back into your sleep cycle that feels comfortable for you. Does it have any implications beyond that? As it turns out, yes. In 2016, the year that we all wish we could forget, but we can't because there's not enough wine in the world to do that. In 2016, there was a study conducted in Finland that concluded that the rate of stroke was 8% higher in the 2 days following daylight savings time. So those who are at risk for stroke, those who have a history of blood clots and hypertension and things of that nature, those who are on blood thinners to try to prevent stroke or heart attack, their risk for suffering from a stroke goes up by 8% in the 2 days following daylight savings time. So it does kind of take, that Monday and Tuesday for even the healthiest of individuals to fall back into a comfortable sleep cycle once again. That same study concluded that cancer victims were 25% more likely to have a stroke during that time, and people older than 65 years old were 20% more likely to have a stroke during that time. Those are some very negative health impacts, and obviously daylight savings time, as we observe it year after year, that effect can kind of build up and accumulate, and as we age, it can become more of a dangerous factor for us. There was another study that was done at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Let me find where they make note of that. Pardon me. That study in Birmingham noted that there is a 10% increase in heart attacks in the days following daylight savings time. So what is it that we can do to prevent this sort of thing from happening? Well, it's not a perfect solution, but it is the best solution. As adults, we need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I'm one of those weird adults that functions really well with just shy of 7 hours. I wake up at 6:45, and that's just when I'm up. I don't set my alarm for that time. I don't think to myself the day before or before I go to bed, gee, I'd like to wake up at 6:45. It just happens. Sometimes I wake up 6:30, but it's usually somewhere in that 6 o'clock range. And I function pretty well that way. But on daylight savings time, I stand to lose another hour, giving me maybe at the most 5 hours and 45 minutes of time. That's no good. I can't function very well like that. A lot of adults who rely on an 8 hours or 9 hours, losing that and going all of a sudden to 7 hours or 8 hours can really affect not only the circadian rhythm of the body and not only affect the whole Sunday and the 2 days after, but it can affect your health down the road as the years progress. So the solution that is proposed is to get an extra hour of sleep on Sunday morning when the time changes. If you are planning on waking up at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, do yourself a favor and wake up at 9 a.m. instead. Give yourself that extra hour. If you're one of those persons who is able to sleep in, I am not one of those individuals, but if you are one of those individuals who is able to sleep in, do it. Your body and your mind will thank you for it, not only this year, but in the years to come. If you have, if you need to be at a church service at 8 a.m., go to a later service if your church has a 10:30 service or something. If you don't have some sort of responsibility, duty, or obligation to fulfill in order for the church service to go on that no one else can do for some reason, then I guess go ahead and do that. But if you're just a church goer and you like going to that 9 a.m. service, try to go to something that's later, or skip that Sunday. I am fairly certain that God will absolutely forgive you for taking your own little personal morning so that you can attend services for the years to come without any negative health implications. If you are not a church-going person, then please sleep in. And not only that hour of sleep in the morning, but get a half hour of sleep, or maybe 20 minutes, just a nice little nap somewhere in the afternoon. That nap doesn't have to be full out sleep. I can't sleep in that sort of a nap myself. I only go into like the first stage of the first cycle of sleep where my eyes are just closed and my thoughts are kind of at a dull roar, and I'm just taking that 20 minutes to not do anything and just let my body be. And that's what your body needs as well. And that extra hour of sleep and that nap can do a lot to prevent negative health impacts this year and in years to come from daylight savings time. That is what I recommend. That is what is recommended by people who do sleep studies and for people who concentrate on sleep for a living. Riveting work, but they're doing good work. And this is the best solution that science has. It is interesting to note that we don't really need daylight savings time. There are 2 states in the United States that do not observe daylight savings time, and daylight savings time is it's an economical concept and not an actual concept that applies to time and the way that the earth revolves around the sun and that sort of thing. Benjamin Franklin developed the idea because he thought that it would improve candle economy. He thought that if there was an extra hour in the day or an extra hour of daylight in the morning, then you wouldn't need to use your candles as much, and then you would have more candle to use when it was actually dark outside and you needed your candles. I don't know what you use primarily for your light source, but I am guessing that if your primary light source is candlelight, that you're not watching this video. And I don't know why I'm talking to you, because you're not my audience. You're not any audience that enjoys this sort of media. You would probably think this is the devil's work if you're using candlelight primarily. The daylight savings time was not adopted universally in the United States until World War I, and it was useful during the war effort. It was again scratched after the conclusion of World War I, only to be resurrected in World War II. And the reason why daylight savings time was important then was because it broke up the globe into time zones and made strategery, that's your word, George Bush, you made strategic planning easier during that time. And then it just became an official thing. It never went away. We don't need it unless we have World War III. And even then, I'm sure if we have a World War III, we can work around that and have strategic planning that doesn't rely on breaking up the globe into time zones, and doesn't require springing forward an hour and giving people negative health outcomes. Sorry. Negative health income. New term. Trending today. So that's really all I have for this second installment of NutraNews. Thank you for watching, and let us spring forward this 2017 boldly and together. If you like this video, please give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. I would very much appreciate it. Have a great day.